December, something like that.
Listening to you over the years, you got to throw some knowledge this way. Your mom doing yoga naked in the backyard.
Yep.
Assuming all your friends are always hanging out at your house when you guys were growing up. What's the story there? Is that real?
It's a true story. My mother, 20 years younger than my father, granola-loving, pretty woman, maybe experimenting with some drugs of some sort, Nixon bashing, and decided that she wanted to do yoga, did it in the house many, many times, and all of a sudden I come home one day and she's in our backyard. We had a pond in our backyard, bottom of a hill, and she's in the backyard with a mat, buck naked, doing yoga. And then,
well, to her credit, it is easier to do yoga naked than it is with clothes on.
Yeah, but when you're like 8,
it's disturbing.
It's well, I'm 42. It's still a bit disturbing. Okay. Then about a month later, okay, she is following us into the woods. We didn't live too far from some woods, and she's mad, and she's wearing a robe, and she doesn't have it covered. And I turn around and look, and I stop, and she's yelling at me. I go, put your robe on. I mean, my God. I mean, seriously. So, yeah, I mean, I was the 8-year-old who's instructing my, I don't know what she was then, 30-whatever-year-old mom what to do. So, and that's who my father married. So it's shocking that marriage didn't last real long. It wasn't my father doing yoga in the back.
No, Sid, no yoga.
No, I can't see him doing yoga. Naked, please, for all of us.
Growing up, the perks and difficulties of having a famous father such as Sid.
A lot of perks on the side of if you were a fan of sports. You know, I had a chance to go to a lot of great events. It got a little old to even young to be positioned so much as your last name versus who you were, but you came to accept that. My father, even though he covers sports, you know, and has covered it for 60 years, was never much of an athlete himself.
Right.
And I think back to when I was playing Little League, and I was pitching a little bit, and I was average at best. And so what happens when a lot of kids, 11, 12, are playing Little League, their dad goes out and pitches with them, helps them out. Well, he can't do that, right? So one day, he goes, I'm going to get somebody to help you. I go, okay. So all of a sudden he goes, hey, somebody's here to help you. I look out, there's Rod Carew.
Nice.
Wow.
So only my father would do that as opposed to like a neighbor.
I was going to say, I'd have my neighbor in the front yard. You get Rod Carew.
So... and part of you as a kid thinks that's really cool, and then a part of you's like, oh my God, can we just kind of have a normal existence a little bit? But I think we all have to accept that we're creatures of what we know.
Right.
That's just...
You adapt.
Right. I mean, I lived with my mother until I was 12, and my mother, as I said before, wasn't just the yoga stuff, but she was a pure naturalist, and we had no white bread, we had no pop. I mean, it was...
No wonder you like Bugle so much.
Yeah, exactly. It was, here's the food you're going to eat.
Yeah.
If not... sit your butt there, and that's it. Then I would go to my father's, and there would be 24 Pepsis right there, Kentucky Fried Chicken. Let's go watch the Vikings and hang out in the press box. So it was such an odd juxtaposition between the two, but that's just how it was. So it's not like I feel like I'm in therapy because I